Let's stick with Australia's energy crisis. And it is a crisis. I say that without beating it up because we've only just scraped through winter without major blackouts. It came very, very close. We've committed to drastic CO2 emissions targets by law without any scientific work done on whether renewables can keep the lights on. You heard about the problems with storage. And we have Greens and Teal politicians calling for the end to our baseload power. No more gas, no more coal. Not to mention the astronomical power price increases we're all facing, mainly because of a lack of supply. Well, here's some good news. A Gina Rinehart-owned company, Senex, based in Queensland, has partnered with a Korean steelmaker in a $1 billion project to expand coal seam gas production in the Surat Basin. It aims to supply gas to the entire east coast of Australia. Senex CEO Ian Davies joins us now from Brisbane. Ian, thanks for your time. How long has this project been in the pipeline?
Look, good to be with you. Look, we started our natural gas journey in about 2014 in Queensland. We've invested nearly $500 million to date, and we've been producing gas for the last 3 years or so. So today's announcement is, I think, really good news for that security of supply onto the East Coast. We've announced more than $1 billion of investment that we're prepared to do on the East Coast. And as the last segment, I think, demonstrated, that firming fuel is absolutely critical when it comes to making sure that we can keep the lights on.
So give us an idea of how much gas can be produced when you're at full capacity and where it will be able to reach.
Yeah, so what we've announced today is we'll have a target production of around 60 petajoules a year. And I don't expect all your viewers to understand petajoules and gigajoules and the like. It's just a form of energy. To put it in perspective, 60 petajoules per annum is enough electricity equivalent to for 2.7 million homes in a year. Right. More the homes that exist in the whole state of Queensland. And it's about 40% of Queensland's domestic demand, and it's about 10% of the entire East Coast. So it's a very material amount of gas.
So Senex and Queensland seem to be doing the heavy lifting because you can't rely on New South Wales and Victoria at the moment. They've gone green on the industry, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, and it really does remind us, and I'll talk about the electricity crisis for just a moment, because that's directly as a result of the tyranny of distance that Australia has. We're 2,000 kilometres between Brisbane and Melbourne, and Queensland is absolutely doing the heavy lifting, producing a huge amount of gas supply, not only for the East Coast, but also to produce all those royalties and taxes from the LNG exports. And if we don't have that gas supply around, what do you end up with? Blackouts. So if you look at what happened in the East Coast only recently, we had a huge cold front coming through. We had cloud cover on the entire east coast of Australia. We had coal mines that couldn't deliver coal. We had coal plants that were down for maintenance or out for offline for whatever other reason. Renewables weren't responding, and it's really only gas that provided that firming that made sure the lights didn't go off.
Which is why what you're doing is fantastic, but you'll need the support of Environment Minister Tanya Plibersek, and she'll have the Greens and the Teals in her ear. I noticed the Greens have come out already tonight to slam what you're doing. The politics of this, are you worried about it?
Oh, like the politics, we knew there was going to be politics with this. They say the climate wars are over. Let's hope that's the case. It doesn't appear the case from the Greens' release tonight. And I think what's important here is balance. Across corporate Australia, across government, a lot of the population agrees with net zero 2050. And we heard in the last segment as well, it's going to take a very long time to get there. The IEA still has gas and coal a huge part of the energy mix in 2050 under even the most aggressive scenarios. And ultimately, we've got the approvals we need for 2 of our 3 areas. And the other area that we bought from one of the LNG projects only recently, well, they had their approvals as well. And we're working with the department for those approvals to transfer across to us. So a bit of a storm in a teacup in my view, but obviously the various sides of politics are against these things happening. What is important though is this is going to provide in the order of $200 million of economic contribution to the regions. It's going to have 200 jobs during construction. It's going to have 50 jobs permanently after. These are real jobs in the regions that are just so important for Queensland.
You mentioned the word balance and Greens in the same sentence, Ian. That's their problem. They are absolutists. So it's either one way or no way. And that's the problem we have facing us at the moment. Thank you so much for your time. All the very best on the project.